Hello, hello. Welcome to Mentor Magnetism, the masterclass, the free masterclass. I'm just gonna let the Facebook algorithm do its thing for a minute. Settle yourselves in, say hello if you're here for the masterclass, if you're locked, ready, and loaded. Steve! I'm so excited to have you here. Yes. I love that you love the magic. It is the most delicious thing to me to have people come back into my world from my previous coaching business that was so different than what I'm doing now. Not really though, because Facebook ads and marketing is magic. It's literally, you're playing with an algorithm. That's literally what you're doing. And that's what magic is. Magic is the algorithm of reality. And when you're a Facebook marketer or any marketer, you better believe that what you're doing is a form of magic, but it is so delicious to me to see people come back into my world from that space. Because, yes, it's just a delicious continuation of the journey. So welcome, welcome. Say hello, Trevor, Russ. What is going on? I'm so excited for today. Did not finish drying my hair. I had this really relaxing morning and I've lost my... Oh no. Oh, that is so interesting. Oh, it's over there. I'll get up in a minute. Let me get that right now, because today, on today's masterclass, we are going to be going through one of the foundational codes to becoming a magnetic mentor. So I'm going to share with you how it is that I got here, the shift that happened. I'm going to share with you the code itself. And then we're going to go into a ritual, because I did promise you guys some magic. Are you down for that? Is that something you're down for? Say yes. Let me grab my little magical thing, which I will reveal later on. I thought it disappeared. Okay, perfect. Lane, what's up? How's it going? I feel the energy. Hello from Ukraine, Jay. Oh my goodness, so good. So today I'm going to be sharing, let me just turn this off. Oh, yes. I feel the energy already. Brooke, if you're on the call, I think you're going to have to message Shannon. I'm definitely going to go over time. I just felt it. I felt the downloads coming in. Yeah. Yeah, this is not going to be as short as I thought, because there's a huge code for today. Today is a foundational code. It is for those of you who are looking to either pivot into this coaching industry, lead the way as a mentor, create impact for the greatest good of all, and for those of you who are already working with clients who are ready to play with bigger geometry, as I like to say. These are codes for scaling a coaching business to 6-figure plus months. Now, there are 6 in total, and each one is interconnected. Each one is just as important as the other. But today's code that I'm going to share with you is foundational to all of them. It precedes all of them. If you don't have this one in place, the other ones are going to be like shooting a dart in the dark. It's not going to get you anywhere. So it is very, very important that today is felt within you so deeply, because the message that I want to convey to you is one that's going to radically change your business, whether you're just getting started out, or you're finding yourself spinning your wheels, or you're just looking to scale, play with some bigger numbers. So as we go along, if it feels aligned to you today, I have some giveaways to give away. I have 3 signed copies of magic source codes. For those of you who have already picked up a copy, thank you so much for supporting my work. I hope it has served you well so far. This book is really a beautiful angle on magic that sort of destigmatizes a lot of the world of alchemy. So I've got 3 copies of this to give away, and I have a dragon grimoire to give away as well. Why dragon? Because because my money is a money dragon. For those of you that were part of Muddy Magic, you'll get it. You'll get it. So I have a dragon grimoire to give away and 3 signed copies of the hard copy of Magic Source Codes. As we go along this masterclass, here's how you're going to enter. If it feels aligned to you, there's no pressure to do this. Share and tag me into little snippets on IG stories, on Facebook. Tag me using Cat Howl on either my page, my personal, or my professional, or on IG at Cat Howl. Basically, just tag me on any of your socials, and that is how you're going to go in the draw to win one of these prizes. So there's 4 prizes to give away. There'll be 4 winners, and I will announce them in the group tomorrow. So that is a little magical giveaway on top of that, just to help spread the magic. And if there's anything I share with you today that deeply resonates, then tag me, share a little snippet, put it out there. I would love it. It would be so cool. And I will see you tag me in, and you will go in the draw. And I will announce the winners tomorrow inside of this group. And with that being said, let us kick into today's masterclass, because this is a calibration. This is an activation, today's class. So I would recommend you have a little bit of water with you, or you can have tea, your little potion, because this will be felt within you. That is my intention with today's class. Now, before we kick off, I'd love to just scan the room a bit, and I'd love to know who in here has always felt that they were a natural born teacher, and who in here is just pivoting into this industry or looking to pivot, and who in here already is a coach, just so I can get a real feel of this room right now. Louise, Russ, thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. So let me know in the comments if you've always felt to your core that you were a teacher. Yes. Started teaching when I was 15. Already a coach. Good. Pivoting into coaching. Perfect. Yes. So I get a feeling, I get a sensation that there's a real mix in terms of people that, yes, leader, teacher. I think the word maybe teacher, the semantics of it doesn't resonate with everybody, but a leader is a teacher in my eyes, for sure. It is the same energetic calibration to be a teacher, to be a leader. Pivoting into coaches, yes. So there's a real sense that there's, many people that are just making the shift into this space, and that there's some that are already coaching, looking to scale. By the way, Brooke, can you leave a comment? Just say hello so people can see. Brooke is on my team. Today, I will be sharing one of the codes to mentor magnetism. As I mentioned, there are 6 of them. If what I share with you today resonates and you feel it to your core and you want to take this work deeper, next week we will be doing this inside of Mentor Alchemy, which will be a 5-day activation. We're going to go deeper into the other 5 codes that all work upon themselves. And each one of those days will follow the same thing. I'll share with you the code. practically speaking what that looks like in my business, so you can see behind the scenes. We'll do a ritual, and then we'll have a Q&A on each one of those days for each one of those codes. If you want to take part in Mentor Alchemy, oh, I'm getting a call from my ex-husband. There we go. What is this? What does this mean? Brooke just commented, that is the girl you want to reach out. You can either send her a message or send me a message for the payment link to get yourself into that masterclass, that workshop, that 5-day activation. There is a special price just for this masterclass, and the price will increase in 48 hours. So you have 48 hours to decide if it feels good for you to get into green light before you make the investment. Never purchase any of my products, never purchase from anybody, never hire a mentor when you're in red light, when you're feeling financially anxious or stressed out or depressed or overwhelmed. Always shift that energy before you push that payment button. That is the surest way to guarantee returns. That is the best way. So that gives you 48 hours to shift that energy, to transmute it if this feels aligned to you and you are looking for the next step. You are looking for a mentor to take your own mentorship business to the next level. There is an invitation for that. And Brooke is the one that she just commented, Brooke Adams. So she's the one you want to message, or you can message me for the link as well. I won't see those messages until after this class. Just FYI. Okay, cool. So I've always also felt to my bone that I was a teacher. When I was at university, I was hired by the university to run an after-school program for undergraduates to review some of the materials. This was business and marketing. And I loved it. I loved it. It was like I was in my element. I just love sharing ideas and communicating ideas and seeing the pops in people's eyes, seeing like the drop, like the, oh, fuck. And sometimes the stuff that I share is, I'm not going to say sometimes, always. We always know everything. We always know everything we need to always get everywhere that we desire, everything that we desire. There's nothing missing from you. You don't actually need mentors to get you there. But the truth of the matter is we're so blind to our own intelligence and our own guidance. Even when you're doing this work, it's really easy to have blinders on and miss the obvious that's right in front of you. And this is why I love teaching, because it is a way to vibrationally lift the consciousness of humanity. It is so fulfilling for me. It is something that I have felt to my core since I was very, very young. So back in 2016-17, I was a freelancer. I was working in the social media marketing, Facebook advertising space. I was doing everything from emails to building Facebook likes, and there wasn't even like retargeting back then. It was it was like a different world. And I was looking to build an agency. I was starting to build an agency. And I came across this online coaching world. I had never encountered this before. It completely caught me off guard. I was like, what is this sorcery? What is this? People are making millions of dollars working with people across the world, teaching them concepts like Facebook ads. And I think the first people that I encountered in that space was John Loomer, Amy Porterfield, Marie Forleo. Those were the ones that I started to see coming up in my news feed. And it was like black magic. What is this? What is happening here? I thought you had to go to university and get degrees and diplomas, and that is the way that you become certified in something and learn something, and then that's the way that you make money, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when I first encountered the world of online coaching and the numbers being thrown around, people talking about launching and making $100,000 and millions of dollars, and scale, the freedom, because you can work with 100 people at the time. It's very different to having an agency. It's very different to being a freelancer, where there's a done for you service, where there's a time exchange, and that time is not as scalable. So there was a lot of romanticism when I encountered this world. I fell in love. I was like, what is this? This is what? I was so confused. But I knew I wanted in, because it ticked everything that I desired. I love teaching people. I believed that I had skills that would benefit others. And I wanted freedom, financial and time freedom in my life, especially coming from that agency freelancing world where that wasn't what I was experiencing there. This had a lot of appeal. So I launched my first coaching business. And actually, if you look at my Facebook page, Kat Howell, my business page, you'll see that the URL is not Kat Howell. It's Social Up Lab. That's what it was called. That was the very first iteration of my coaching business. It was called Social Up Lab. And I started off with Facebook advertising, Facebook marketing. And I was such a perfectionist about it all. I was so meticulous. I planned everything out. I recorded all these videos, like I scripted all these videos. I hated the sound of my voice at the time. So I went on, I think it was Fiverr, and I got this man to dub over all my videos, to narrate all my videos for me, which was hilarious in hindsight. And then I would create all this content, all these blog posts. I did all these videos. I was posting on Facebook. I was doing all of this stuff. I was downloading lead magnets like left and right, like lead magnets on how to be successful in this industry. And I was doing all of the things. Like I was creating the content. I was doing the videos. I think I launched on Teachable. That was the first platform I used. And I had just, I put so much time and effort because I just truly, like, I wanted this. It's like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. But it didn't go the way I thought. It was kind of a bittersweet beginning because I would do all this. I would almost exert myself. Like it was just exhausting creating all of this content. And nothing was working. Nothing was working. No matter how beautiful I made my funnels, no matter how fancy all my advertising sequences were, no matter how much I automated my emails, no matter what I said, no matter how much value I added, no matter what I threw in, it wasn't working. It was getting nowhere. And I became very, very deflated and defeated by the whole thing. Who can relate with this? Graveyard of domains. Yes. To be honest, I still have that. That doesn't go away. That doesn't go away. And so I was doing all the things that people were telling me like needed to be done to be successful, but it wasn't working. No matter how much of the things I did, it wasn't working. It was like I was spinning my wheels in the same place. And the more I spun my wheels, the more I started to feel like this was a fantasy that would never happen to me. It would happen to other people. And the more that happened, the more I started to believe that, oh, it's because I don't have a big audience. That's why. Who is telling themselves that right now? I know now that that's not the case because I then went on to make a lot of money without a big audience. So I know that that was not the factor at all. But I started to tell myself that story like, oh, I've done everything. I've ticked all the boxes. I've done the lead magnets. I've edited them. I've tried to optimize the conversion rates. I was like agonizingly looking at the conversion rates of landing pages. I think I was working with lead pages back then, and it was like I was doing everything, and I was still getting nowhere, and it just felt like a big waste of time. And so in my head, I was like, well, Amy Porterfield, she has a huge audience. John Loomer, he has a huge audience. That's it. That's why. Until I get a really big audience, it's not going to work. What's funny, though, is that I was working with influencers in the agency and freelancing side of the business. I was working with people who had big audiences who weren't making money. So that was kind of like a bullshit excuse I was telling myself as well, because I was experiencing that firsthand. I was working with people who had huge audiences who weren't making money. So it wasn't the audience. It was never that. And I couldn't figure it out at the time. It seemed so elusive to me, and it is so obvious to me now. It is so obvious to me now why it wasn't working. You see, here's what would happen. I would prepare a webinar, because I also discovered the world of webinars, and then I like download these fucking 52-page slideshow template, webinar templates. Oh my God, and agonizingly, like, you know, I'm actually embarrassed to admit this, but it got so bad at one stage that I even like plagiarized one of the well-known sales pages, like almost word for word. It was like I copied and pasted everything, because it was like, my stuff isn't working. Their stuff is obviously working. Let me see. And obviously, what do you think happened? Still didn't work. So it wasn't the funnels, it wasn't what I was offering, it wasn't the sales pages, it wasn't the messaging, it wasn't the retargeting. None of that stuff was shifting any gear. And here's what was happening. I would do these webinars, and I would prepare for them with such expectation, you know, because I was seeing people posting things about their launches and making 50,000. I would be happy with 5K. I was like, if I make 5K, I'll know that I made it. I'll know to stay on this path. This was like my internal dialogue. Who says this to themselves? Like, you know, if I just make 5K or 20K or 50K, then I'll know. Right? So I would do these webinars, and then like 2 people would show up, and one of them would leave halfway through. And I would feel so deflated and so defeated. And I would put out these offers where it's like, it felt like I was giving myself and then some, like, here's all of me. Here, you can have me, all of me. I'll do everything in your business for $100. Take it. Take it. Everything I know. And no one would buy. And I would get so frustrated and feel so deflated. And I would post all this content. And I would post and post. And I started ad hacks, Facebook ad hacks, which had, like, you know, nobody back then in the group, maybe 100 people that I generated through ads. And it was like crickets. Nobody. And I would get so deflated and so defeated. And I would basically get to the stage of being so frustrated in my progress that I considered just like pulling the plug. This isn't working. It's not for me. It's not going to work. I'm not that. People are just lucky. They have bigger audiences. It's luck. I've done everything. I've done everything on paper that I was supposed to do to succeed in this space, to get exactly what they told me I should get when I downloaded that lead magnet. And I paid $7 for a lead magnet. I'm still not a millionaire. I laugh now, right? Like, hindsight is such a beautiful thing. But and this is why mentorship is so important, because when you're in it, you don't smell your own bullshit. Like you really are confused. You're like, what am I doing? As I'm saying this to you guys, can you pick up on what was not working? Why it wasn't working? Do you know why? Have you picked up on it yet? Because this is the first code. And it was so not clear to me at the time. I was frustrated. Why don't you like me? Why? Why aren't you engaging with my posts? Why aren't you showing up to my webinars? I knew it. I knew I was a failure. I knew it. I'm just gonna quit now. It's so clear to me now. It wasn't working because I had half in, half out energy. I was seeking validation from my outside reality to validate my vision and my desire to show up as a coach and build this business. If I ran a webinar and 2 people showed up, I would get depressed. If I made a post and nobody liked it, I would get frustrated. I needed people to buy from me. I needed people to engage with my stuff. I needed people to show up to the webinars. I needed reality to validate me and my creations and my desire and my vision. I had this when-then condition. When people buy from me, then I will know I'm going to be a good coach and I'm going to succeed. When people like my posts, then I will know what I said was smart and worthy and deserving. But if nobody likes, I might delete it because it's so embarrassing. You see that? I was half in, half out because I had a when-then condition happening. I sought validation from my external reality to be like, here's a like, Kat, keep going. You got this. And if it didn't happen, oh, I'm so sad. Nobody likes me. I just knew it. I knew I shouldn't do this. This is so stupid. Why would I even dream like this? It's not for you, Kat. Yes, this works, by the way. This applies, by the way, to every aspect of your life. So relationships, you show up like that, oof, watch out. You show up like that in any aspect. With money, you show up like that with money. If you need your bank account to look a certain way for you to feel abundant, that's why you don't have money, my friend. That is why. This is the first, most foundational code to mentor magnetism. We remove the when-then conditions. We're not half in, half out. We go because it is divine compulsion and creation coming from us. When I look back at, oh my goodness, my ex-husband. It's like, when I look back, Burke, can you message him and just let him know that I'm on a masterclass? Just in case somebody's dying. Thank you so much. When I look back at the content I was creating in those early days, there was, and I read them now, there was such an air of desperation to them. I couldn't see it then. I was kind of blind to it then, but I look at it now and it was like so like me, please, like my posts. It was like I was also giving everything away. Like just giving everything away because I just desperately wanted people to like me and value me. So, of course it didn't work. It's never going to work. It's never going to work when your ability to create, co-create with this universe is conditional. When you place conditions over your co-creative process in such a way where you require validation from your external reality to give you the go, to give you the green light, it will never work. It will never work, my friend, because reality reflects you. You lead the way. You are the one who always leads the way. You are so powerful that the universe can never counter your free will in such a way. And so if vibrationally you are half in, half out, if vibrationally you require your reality, the outside world, your outside circumstances to say, go, you got this, you're going to hit a lot of brick walls. You're going to hit a lot of chaos. You're going to hit a lot of rock bottoms. Because those walls, those rock bottoms, those things those challenges will be there to bring you to a space of self-awareness, of remembering that's not how it works. You'll take yourself to your knees if you need to, so that you can remember that. But we don't have to go to that level. We can just remove those conditions. The moment I had a big shift, actually, because I had a mentor at the time who made me aware of this, that I was kind of babying myself in and out. I wasn't really in. I was like ready to pull the plug if it didn't work and prove myself that I was a failure. It was like everything that didn't go the way that I expected it was like evidence that I was failing. I was like a lawyer collecting a stack of evidence of why life is so hard on me and it's not fair and I'm doing all the things. What's funny though is that because I was coming at it from that energetic space, like the content was different. I look at it now and it's like, oh my God, you're so desperate. Don't talk like that. You're not gonna get anyone buying from you if you say shit like that. It was so like, there was just we pick up on this. Those of you guys that do sales calls in your business, you'll know the moment you need that lead to close, it's not going to close. They're not going to close. We sense this. Humans, we're energetic beings. We're vibrational beings. We sense energy, whether we consciously do or not. We sense it. We sense when someone is desperate. We sense when someone needs validation, and it repels us. It repels us. Because here is something I want you to feel so deeply, and why this is the foundational code to mentor magnetism. All the other codes build upon this. Without this one, doesn't matter what you do. I want you to feel this truth so deeply within you. This is the biggest key to successful mentorship. To create, to co-create with the universe, to divinely express yourself unconditionally, to validate yourself, not caring what or who responds or what happens with sales or your bank account. Because the thing that we seek more than anything else, humans, this is what we seek more than anything else. We seek this freedom to co-create in such a way, unconditional. We seek unconditional well-being. Every one of us is chasing the money, the cars, the lovers, the babies, the families, the friendships, the connections, the trips, the holidays, because we think it's going to make us feel a certain way about ourselves. And for those of us who have been fortunate enough to be able to experience those things, the wealth, the holidays, the extravagance, the love, the family, you'll know to your core, it's never those things. Those things are not what make you happy. Those things are not what unlocks well-being. It's never that. Those things are the cherry on top. Those things are the expansion of a green light. We desperately seek this. Every human on the planet seeks this unconditional well-being. This is what we all want. And so, when you understand this, you'll know to your core that mentorship has nothing to do with your funnels. It has nothing to do with your ads. It has nothing to do with your offers, believe that or not. People will tell you this. I believed this for so long, right? I downloaded all the lead magnets. I did everything. It didn't work. It didn't work. So it wasn't that. I worked with people who had massive audiences and they weren't making money. So it wasn't that. I made a lot of money before I had a big audience. So it wasn't that. It's not even the information you share. So many of us get so fucking tripped up over like, well, I need to have, people will tell you, you need to have like a unique 5-step proven system process with a funky fucking name attached to it. And that's how you'll become a great, successful mentor. That's not what we want. We don't need more information. Innately, we have all the information we need. We are the embodiment of intelligence. We already know everything we need to know to cultivate what we desire. We don't need information. What makes a mentor magnetic to others is not their offers. It's not the information they share or how much information they share. I believed this for so long, and so it was like I was adding more bells and whistles. Let me add this, let me add this, let me add this, let me add this for free, and this and this, and then it was like this exhausting, overwhelming thing. And that was never it. That was never what gave me the X factor. Why I was able to grow an 8-figure company in a super saturated industry full of competition. I just blew up the moment I truly got this. I didn't fully consciously get it either back then. I didn't fully understand that that's, look back now and this is what I did. I removed that then. I removed those conditions. I decided to be in. I decided to create without expectation, knowing that everything I create is a building upon of my body of work. And that was the only thing needed. And everything changed. Maybe not immediately, but the growth that I experienced on the back of that is like, you can't explain that. Even my mom was like, are you selling drugs? Like, I don't understand. My accountant was like, what the fuck is happening here? I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm doing this. There's grammar mistakes. My links don't work. Brooke was part of the team then. She knows. It was a fucking hot mess. The automations were a mess. Everything was a fucking mess. It's a hot mess. But it worked. People were like, can I give you money? I want to pay you. How do I pay you? Where's the payment link? How do I do this? Even when the payment links were broken, they're like, how do I pay you? What is your bank account? I was like, what is this? It's only now that I fully grasp why that happened in that way. And the moment I removed those when-then expectations and I was in. I was in it. I was in it because this was a compulsion of creation. I was doing it because this is what I want to do. This is who I want to be. This is what I want to, this is how I want to show up. And I'm going to be and do and create this. And I don't care what reality says, if it validates me or not. The moment I started showing up like that, I would post in ad hacks, and yeah, people didn't like my posts. It was the same thing. But instead of getting all deflated and deleting the post and like, whoa, or like trying to copy what somebody else was posting to see if that worked better, I was like, I don't care. I didn't even check. I just let it up. Fuck it. That's it. I created this. It's a building upon of my body of work. I trust. I trust. This is who I am. This is how I'm showing up. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm betting on myself. I'm in it. I do not need reality to validate this. This is what I want. And then things changed really fast. People started commenting. People started showing up to my webinars. People started buying and buying and buying and buying, and my audience started to grow and grow and grow, and it, like, Facebook took my group, Facebook Ad Hacks, and just fucking organically started pushing it, and it was like, it became the biggest Facebook advertising group in the world. It was mental. None of it made sense. None of it I could have planned strategically. Everything was counterintuitive to what I had been doing before. And even though I didn't really change anything in what I was offering and how I was offering it and what I was doing, everything changed. The way I was talking, the way I was speaking about my offers, the way I was speaking about myself changed. The energy behind it changed. Everybody on this planet seeks unconditional co-creation, unconditional well-being. This is not something you can talk about. You can't just talk about it and be like, this is how you create unconditionally. And then behind the scenes, you're not doing that. People will know that. They'll sense it. We're energetic beings. We have antennas. We have spidey senses. We're like, bullshit! And it will not matter how much you spend on ads. It won't matter how fucking brilliant your branding is. It won't matter if you're not fucking embodying it. It's not going to work. This isn't something you can talk your way into. But it's a lived-in experience. It's a lived-in embodiment of leading the way, of being in it, of self-validation. And the moment you embody it, you become honey. The most magnetic thing. People are like, what the fuck is this person on? What's happening? Because we have antennas. We feel it. It's like, oh, and it is the most delicious thing, because when we are around people who are in this co-creative process, without conditions, without seeking validation, it pulls us, it compels us into our own cores. That's why we're attracted to it like that. That's why we're compelled to it like that. That's why we want to give people to money like that. Because just by proximity, it pulls us, it teaches us how to give ourselves that permission. Maybe not consciously, but this is what it does energetically. People that come into my world when I am the embodiment of this unconditional creation are pulled straight into their own vortexes. As Abraham Hicks uses the word vortex, right? Their own cores. It compels them right into their own cores. When I am around mentors or other people that operate this way, it pulls me back into mine. This is what people want. They don't want information. They don't want fancy sales pages. They don't fucking care about your branding, I'm sorry to say. I mean, my branding was horrible. FATC. And I made 8 figures. It doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't have worked. I did everything on paper that should have worked, and it didn't work. By the way, I'm not saying like sales pages, funnels, retargeting, branding don't work. I'm just saying that if you don't have this foundational piece behind it, it won't work. And those of you guys who work in the Facebook advertising or marketing space, you'll know this. You can screen leads and they can have everything on paper. Check, check, check. Beautiful offer, beautiful website, beautiful everything, beautiful copy, and it still won't fucking work. I know you guys have experienced this. It's like, what the fuck? Everything on paper. They had everything. It should have worked. Nice website, everything. Why isn't it working? It's like when you screen leads, you got to screen for this energetic. right? You have to screen for that, because without that, it doesn't work. Now, with that, then those nice things, if that feels aligned to you and that's something that you desire to create, is beautiful branding and beautiful funnels and all of that, then go for it. But I am also proof and example that none of those are required. Once you have this foundational piece in place, you can have typos, you can have 404 links, you can have mistakes everywhere, and people will still pay you money. People will still value you. You can have the worst information. You could regurgitate information that people find on Google, and they'll still pay you. Not because of the information. That's not why people are hiring you. That's not what people want in a mentor. That's where we get all tripped up. We get all caught up in our offers and what we have to include and what's part of it and what are we going to talk about, and I need a super process 6-step system that's called the HAS method, abbreviated like this. Because we get told that this is what we need in the industry and we believe it. That's not why people are buying, my friends. They're buying because you're creating from your core. You're divinely creating from your core unconditionally. And when you do that, it won't matter what you sell. People will pay you for it. And here's the most beautiful thing. They will get results in their lives, even if your information is copied and pasted from Google. Because it was never the information. It was the proximity to being close to somebody who is in that co-creative process. It compels people into their own cores, and this is what we all desire. This is what we want. This is what we want. When we encounter people like that, it's like a magnet. People ask me all the time, they're like, how do I find a good mentor? It's a magnet. First of all, set the intention. Ask for it. Tell the universe, I desire a good mentor to come across my path. Bring it to me. Show me a good mentor. And then the second thing is, it should feel like a magnet. Sometimes it feels like a trigger initially. You'll see the person and it like triggers you because they're doing things so counterintuitive to what you've been telling yourself, and your brain is like, I don't know, what is this? I can't handle this. That's a good sign if you get triggered by somebody. But it should feel like a magnetism, because even with the trigger, you can't stop. You can't stop listening to them. You can't stop watching them. You can't stop going back. You can't stop trying to find every video they've done online and just listening to it and consuming it. That's when you know you found your mentor. And that's when you know you found somebody who's creating from that space, because it's that magnetism. And you're like, what is this? I don't even like this person. I hate the sound of their voice. I can't stop listening to them. That is a person who's creating divinely from their core, not needing permission from anybody else. And that's why you're attracted to it. Not because of what they're sharing, not because of their funnels or their voice or what they're wearing or how old they are or where they're from. Because it's compelling you to yours, and you're attracted to that, to your core. Does this make sense? It changes everything once you get this. Once you understand, people don't buy from you for your information. They don't buy from you for your branding. They don't buy from you from your fancy, trademarked, patent pending, conscious recoding process thing. They don't care. The moment you create without needing that validation from others, you will become magnetic. I experienced this phenomenon twice very recently in my life, because I slip, for sure. I'm human. I was doing it in 2017. Became a powerful magnet. I had the X factor. I was fucking wearing fanny packs on some of the world's biggest stages. I gave no fucks. I didn't give a fuck what people thought about me, what people said about me. I didn't give a fuck if my webinars didn't work. I created because I made the decision that this is who I'm going to be. This is what I want to create. This is what I want to put out in the world. This is what's happening. Period. That's it. And I had no expectations. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, great. It's a building upon from my body of work. And that's always going to work. It's always going to work. And ironically, detaching from the expectations in that way was what brought the things that I had been desiring all along. It's what made the crazy, crazy sales. Buttcoin, yeah, I just did fucking crazy shit. I gave no fucks. And then I forgot about it. Because I wasn't conscious that that's what I was doing. I wasn't conscious at the time that it was this removal of when then, that it was this unconditional creation process. I honestly had no fucking clue how I was doing it. I was like, it's mindset. Hey, everybody have a better mindset. Be grateful, positive thinking. Yes, those things are fucking important, 100%. I ordered $1,000 jeans. I gave no fucks. I gave no fucks. I created and I expected money to come. Because I was creating from my core. And it always did. And it came in amounts I couldn't have even dreamed of. Woo! And then I forgot about it. Because I was never consciously aware that that's what I was doing. It was never like, I was literally just like, it's mindset. Be happy, everybody. I kind of knew, but I didn't know that was the code. I didn't know the code. I didn't know the code, so I forgot it. And then very recently, I mean, this happened to me twice very recently. The first one was the first Coven retreat, which just happened last month in Byron Bay. When I first went to book this retreat, I was required to put a deposit down. And it was split into two. So the deposit was split into two. One was like $2,000, and then there was like another one that was $7,000, another 3 weeks away. Those were their terms. So I put the $2,000 down, but in my head I was like, well, it's okay if I lose $2,000. I can still dip out of this event. Yeah. So I had half in, half out energy. Half in, half out. I might pull out of this. I might not. I might pull out. And I was struggling to sell it. I was struggling to get connected to this event. I was struggling to make it like real to me because my vision was like half in, half out. I could pull out, I could go, I could pull in, and it wasn't working. People smelled that. They sensed that. And then the final hour came where I needed to put the deposit down, and I remember talking to my partner and being like, I don't know, I just feel like this is so stupid right now. It's just not the right timing. It doesn't make any sense. No one's gonna buy. It's gonna be a total failure. Like a retreat for witches and alchemists. What is even that? You know what? I've never done. What is the? I don't know. My mind was like fear, fear, fear. Eject, eject, eject. And then I caught myself. I caught myself listening to fear, which is red, going, oh fuck, I cannot let fear make the decision here because that's a red light. That's not going to lead me to what I want. I have to be courageous here and trust and just go. So I made the deposit and I made the decision, fuck it. This is happening. Even if I lose money, it's happening. I'm in. I'm all in. This event is happening. Even if I don't make money. And then boom, sales started coming. Just like that. This is what I also experienced in the flow protocols and why my 1-year-old coaching business has done quantum financial leaps in the last few months. The kind of stuff that's just like, it makes no sense. Like, what the fuck? Haven't changed my offers, haven't changed how I sell, haven't changed the way I show up, but everything's changed. The way I show up has changed, though not inertly as actions, right? I was half in, half out. Again, I had this half in, half out energy about the coaching industry. I had blamed money and the coaching industry for my mental breakdown in 2020. I had like residual PTSD around it all. I had become cynical about coaching. I was like, oh, I don't want to be a guru. I started listening to people's opinions about coaching, and it got to me, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm half in, half out, half in, half out. And people that were part of the flow protocols in the early days, they saw that. It was like, I'm shutting it down. Sorry, guys. It was like a 3-month program. At the end of it, I was like, nope, no more. Kicked everybody out. And I was like, oh, no, wait. I always kept going back to it. I always get compelled back to it because I'm a natural teacher. I am supposed to be a coach. I am made for this work. It is a divine compulsion of mine to be in front of people and elevate their vibrations and their ideas and beliefs and ways of thinking, because it's the most fulfilling thing to me. So even when I denied it, I kept getting pulled back, and I would like do these little webinars and like, Brooke saw this firsthand as well. I was half in, half out. So the business kind of like hovered at a certain bare minimum acceptable financial for me. It was like, yep, just cruising along. And then a few months ago, I had a massive shift. Massive fucking shift. Massive realization. I'm in. No more of this back and forth. No more of like, do I want to be a coach? I don't want to be a coach. No, I'm in. This is my purpose. I fucking own it. I'm going to lead the way. I'm going to validate this. I'm in. I'm in it for the long haul. This is my purpose. And everything changed. Everything changed financially. Just went like, poof. It's delicious. Trisha wants the link to the jeans. By the way, if you sign up for Mentor Alchemy while you're on this call, let me know, because I want to celebrate with you. Yes, do a little party dance. So this is the first code to mentor magnetism, to becoming the mentor that compels people into your world. Now, the way I run my business, it's like, I don't follow any of the rules. You can't find any of my offers on my website. What is that? I remember first getting started out. People were like, you have to put your fucking sales links everywhere. So make it easy for people to buy. Now, you go on my website, you can't buy from me. You won't even see the coven. You won't see nothing. I think you'll see the group, this group. That's it. I don't use sales pages anymore. So if you message Brooke or me to sign up for Mentor Alchemy, you're going to get a payment link. It's going to be a page that says Mentor Alchemy, 3 lines of what you get, and then the order form. That's it. I did this with Money Magic. It was my highest converting funnel I've ever had. Mental. And I used to spend so much time on sales pages, long form sales pages, all the direct response, the branding. Wow. Again, I'm not saying those things work to me. They're just not the way I want to create anymore. And I realized it doesn't matter. Ha! People still buy, even without a sales page. So I'm not going to fucking do sales pages no more. Fuck that shit. I have a sales page for the coven and that's it. Because it was already built. I'm not doing that shit anymore because I don't want to. But some people want to. Some people, it feels very aligned for them to build sales pages and to present themselves like that. And so they should. But what I want you to understand is that's not why people buy. They're not buying because of your sales page. Because I don't have one. And I'm having my highest converting workshops. Here's the payment link. You're in or you're out. I'm not going to even convince you. People message me, they're like, hey, I don't think this is the right time. Okay, good. I don't have this script of like, Here's what you say to a prospect when they tell you they're not ready to buy. You should rebuttal with this script and this line. Da, 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 da. I just like, okay, it's not the right time. Good. Don't do it. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. That's it. I trust that the right people will come, and the things that I create, even if they fall flat on their face, even imagine if I had showed up to this workshop today and been like, oh, 100 people need to be on here, otherwise I'll know I failed. Can you imagine my energy on today's workshop? How it would have been so like, oh, like me. I need you to like me. I showed up today on this workshop. Even if 2 of you would have shown up, I would have showed up like this. I would have given you everything I had. I would have been there 100% energetically, as if there were 1,000 of you on this call. That's how I show up with everything I create now. I validate myself. I don't need people showing up. I don't need people commenting. I don't need those things to tell me like, go, yeah, you got this. And that is the greatest irony of all, is that in that energy, in that showing up, in that unconditional creative process, that is how I attract the people. That is how I make it work. That is how people show up. Rebecca, I love you. Yes. So this is the first code of magnetic mentorship. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning, there are 5 other codes. Each one builds upon the other, and they're all interconnected and interrelated. This one that I've shared today is the foundational piece. Without this one in place, none of the other ones really matter. Once you have this one in place, then there are other levels and levers that we can pull. And this is what we're going to be covering inside of Mentor Alchemy, which is a 5-day masterclass starting next week. Each one of those classes, I'll be sharing with you the code. Then we'll go behind the scenes, practical look at how it plays out in my business. Then we will do a ritual, some magic around it, just like we're about to do. We're about to go into a ritual for today so that you download this code into your being. Because I can see some of you guys asking me, Marco, hey, asking me, how do I validate myself? So we're going to do a ritual to help with that, okay? This is why I love magic. You're here for magic too, right? And then we'll have Q&As after the end of each one of those calls. So you'll have the opportunity to ask questions and we can go deeper. So they're going to be big calls for Mentor Alchemy. And the intention of that is that you walk away very fucking confident in your abilities, like fully calibrated to this creative process, this compulsion within you, trusting yourself. This is for those of you who are ultimately wanting to scale a coaching business to 6+ figure months, whether you're getting started or you have existing coaching clients. And the way that you sign up for that is you either have to message Brooke or myself, and we'll send you the link. I will see your messages after this call, and you'll have 48 hours to get in at this price. The price goes up to $12.97 in 2 days' time. The reason I've given you 48 hours is if you're finding yourself in red light right now, I want you to transmute that before you invest, okay? It's very important. I don't want you to buy from me. If this is a matter of you feeding your children or putting food on the table, there's so many other things you can do before you invest in this. Don't do that. I don't want you to be in a position where it's like you're going to be in so much anxiety and stress making this investment. It's not the right time for you. If you're feeling super depressed, overwhelmed, anxious, transmute that. Do not purchase that masterclass just yet. Transmute it And then when you find yourself in a better headspace, make the investment. I promise you, when you do it this way, it always comes back to you. This is how you ensure returns. And we'll be going into one of the codes around that, around how to work those red light, green light systems with your clients, because it's going to like shift your sales process, radically shift your sales process and your client results, so that you're just, you know, without having to like give more and overwhelm yourself and burn out and think that it's more information, your clients win even more. Simple codes, energetic codes that shifts everything in your business. We'll be going into codes around sales, codes around divine creation, how I create, looking deeper into that, codes into generating leads, magnetism, specifically around that, client results. This is an activation that's going to change it for you, because I promise you, so much of what is out there around the coaching industry and what is needed to succeed, it's like we're making life way more difficult for ourselves. If you're feeling compelled to show up as a mentor and a teacher, you feel this within yourself, if you know you can help others, you may not even know what it is yet, by the way. That doesn't even matter. I'll show you how to know that. I'll show you how to land that. That's okay. And maybe you're already working with clients, but you're just not growing. You're experiencing this kind of stagnation, this plateau that I was in. This is going to be vibrationally something that's going to put a little fire under your whole business. Like, it's going to be really delicious. So that starts next week. And I'm so excited for this next activation. Now, who's ready for a ritual together? Who wants to do some magic? Let's make some magic, yes. Let me see some of these comments as well. Yes. Neville Goddard talks about this, yeah. Yes, 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 love it. All right, okay. So this is what we're going to be doing today. The code that we've downloaded is to validate ourselves, okay? Now we're going to be creating a talisman. Do you guys know what this is? And I would love for you guys to share it in the group once you've created yours. And when you join me inside of Mentor Alchemy, we'll be building upon this talisman. So today is going to be the first part of this talisman, okay? A talisman. Oh, Yasmin. And you're on to something so big now. It's so high value. The world needs it so much, right? So beautiful. Yes. So a talisman is essentially an effigy. Sometimes it's called an amulet. This has been used for over 30,000 years. They have found talismans from the Ice Age, from early man. We've been using talismans for a very, very, very long time in the world of magic and alchemy. And essentially, I'm going to show you mine. What I will say is I have a lot of these around my house, okay? So if you go around my house, usually they're hidden behind pot plants. Like I'll put them behind or in pot plants, or I'll hide them in like ritual boxes that I have. And they all look different. So this is an example of one that I've made. And they can either be created as a form of protection. So a lot of the times they were created as a way to protect or ward off against illness. Sometimes they were created to call upon different energies to support an intention, but they can also be created as a representation of an intention. And this is what we're going to be creating with our talisman. You see, it's got like, mine's got like a little funky and I put a dress on it. They don't all look like this, okay? But what I want you to do, this is going to be a representation of yourself as a divine co-creator. A divine co-creator creates from compulsion of desire, unconditional. They do not seek validation. They don't need reality to say go. They don't need people to like their posts. They don't need people to show up to their webinars or buy their offers. Because if that doesn't happen, I knew it, I'm a failure. This talisman, this effigy will represent the vision that you have of who you wish to be as a mentor. And we're going to start charging it. And next week we'll start building upon it and charging it even more, okay? So today, what I want you to do is you're going to go out in nature, and these can be created with anything, okay? Anything that sticks out to you. You can even use seashells, seaweed, whatever. I have used twigs, and I don't even know what this is, like dried up pine tree. Underneath the dress, there's like moss around it, okay? And when you're out in nature, you should have that vibration. So have that intention. As you collect these pieces, have this intention that each piece builds upon this version of yourself that is fully in their power, that is calibrated. This is what this talisman will represent to you. It will help you hold you in that space of self-validation. You are creating an effigy of power that will hold the energy for you, that will support you in that process. It sounds stupid, maybe. It sounds silly, but it's very effective. It's very powerful. As you collect the pieces, what I do is whatever sticks out to me. So I don't overthink it, but if I see something, I'm like, oh yeah, cool, that stands out. I can maybe put this. What can be helpful for you is to write out on a small piece of paper that intention, that version of yourself, who you wish to embody as a mentor. That doesn't mean you know necessarily what you want to talk about or what your offers is, but it's just like, I want to co-create and download and receive and transmit this information from source, from universe, and I want to validate it. I want to be in that space energetically. That is the intention, right? Write it out on a small piece of paper and wrap it around your effigy, and then wrap that. Put some moss around it like I did, and I have like this dried up reed that I then wrapped around the whole thing. So this effigy essentially has my intention in it. I went and put a cloth around it, but a lot of the ones I've created, they don't. I also made this one look like a little human. I put hair so it didn't look like a cross. But a lot of the ones I've created, they just literally sticks. Like, they don't have the arms that stick out. So you get to create whatever you want to. Let your imagination run wild. If you're going to write out the piece of paper, again, hold that space. Like, as you're writing it, as you're making your talisman, you want to be in that space, okay? Now, oftentimes the process of magic, those of you guys who are in the Coven or you've heard me talk about my process of magic, you'll know that the way that I approach magic is we set the intention and then we charge it with gnosis and then we let it go, okay? So here's how this is essentially for this talisman. We set the intention while we're collecting the things. We set the intention as we're writing it down on the piece of paper. We set the intention as we're building the talisman. we set the intention. We are vibrationally there. We feel it within our cores. We feel how delicious that feels. We're with it and we're grateful for it. We're present with the intention. The next step of magic is usually gnosis, which is an altered form of consciousness, where you're essentially like putting it out in the universe as with a loudspeaker. Like if we're thinking about signals and vibration and resonance, gnosis is a form of like amplifying those signals, those vibrations. So what you could do here, there's a lot of methods of gnosis, including breath work, meditation, spinning around is one way, hyperventilation is another way, a cold plunge. So if you're by a lake or something, literally build your talisman next to the lake and then go and fucking dunk yourself in a cold plunge, and you're going to feel your entire body shift. The vibrations of your body will instantly shift. Masturbation is another popular way. So you could build, I wouldn't masturbate with it. That is not recommended. You can hold it, but don't masturbate with it. I don't think that's hygienic. But you could masturbate to charge. What we're doing is we're essentially trying to enter an altered state of consciousness right after setting the intention, as we're thinking of the intention, changing the very vibration of our body. And that's how you like code it within yourself. This is why I love magic, because magic uses gnosis. Very powerful. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years through chanting, drumming, psychedelics. There's hundreds of ways, thousands of ways to leave the rational mind behind. The practice of magic is always a personal one and finding what works best for you. But again, it could be as simple as you create your talisman, go into a cold shower. Go step under a cold shower for 30 seconds and think of your intention. And I promise you, your whole body, the whole vibration of your body will shift. Just like that. Poof, recoded, sent out. The signal is like, boom, this is what's happening. And then we release. That's the next step of magic. We release. So what that means is essentially just put it somewhere out of sight. I hide mine in pot plants and behind plants. So I see them I forget what most of them represent, which is good. My subconscious never forgets, but my conscious mind forgets. It's just like sigils. And I just kind of hide them. I don't have them like in plain sight so that I'm always like, oh, this is what I hide them. And then I create enough of them over time that I don't even remember. I won't remember what this one means in like a year from now. I won't remember. And that's a good thing, because my subconscious won't forget. And this little thing is holding the energy, it's holding the power, it's holding the space for me. Yeah, if you just came in now, you're like, what the fuck is going on? So, yeah, sex magic. Love it, love it. That is one of my favorite forms of gnosis, and it fucking works really powerfully, guys. It's crazy. So for those of you who, well, please try this. Like, please just try this. It's really fun. It's a form of flow, which is also an altered state of consciousness. It's fun. Create your effigy. Share it to the group, please. I would love, 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 love to see what you have created. And this little buddy here is going to help hold that power, that space of self-validation, the first code to magnetic mentorship. We create without conditions. We create because it's a compulsion. It's a desire to do so. It's who we want to be. We create, and even when it doesn't go the way we want, it's okay, because it built upon our body of work, and that's enough. That's all it needed to do. It's okay because it was an expression of that compulsion, and that's enough, and that's okay, and that's all it needed to do. This little thing will help you hold you in that space. You set the intention, you make it so. This is how powerful you are. And you will find yourself more and more supported in this self-validation. This is the foundational code. Now, next week, as I mentioned, we'll go into the 5 other codes. There are 5 more codes that make you magnetic. Magnetic to leads, to clients, to opportunities, to solutions. This is the stuff that helps you make those quantum financial leaps. If you've been spinning your wheels, if you've been plateauing, if you've been confused, you don't know how to go, you're not sure, what I want to tell you is that investing in Mentor Alchemy is a powerful energetic move, not only because it will help calibrate you vibrationally to a new way of moving forward in this industry, but also it's important to realize that you cannot expect to attract clients to you that will invest in themselves if you're not willing to do it yourself. You must become the perfect client that you wish to work with. You must. It's hypocritical otherwise. To expect to attract people to you that will invest in themselves, that will bet on themselves, that will say, yes, investing in myself is the most important thing I can do. More than crypto, more than property, more than anything. Investing in I will always bet on myself. I will bet on myself 1,000 times. I will always bet on myself. And because of that, I attract people that bet on themselves. I attract people that invest in themselves, that are also calibrated to that. But if I wasn't willing to do that, and then I'm expecting to attract clients that do that, it's never going to work. Right? Law of attraction. You must become the client you wish to attract. So, you must be willing to invest yourself. You must be willing to forge yourself in the fires of transformation. Otherwise, you're going to get clients that need mothering, that just want you to baby them, that never take fucking responsibility, that are always stuck, or that just never get results. So energetically, if this feels aligned, obviously, to you, if what I've said to you resonated, if you want to go deeper in this work, if you love the magic, because it's fun, if you have lots of questions you want to ask me, if you want to see the behind the scenes of my business, like how I've structured things, how different things work, because we haven't gone into that practical thing as much on this call, but that will be what we do in Mentor Alchemy. 5 additional codes, behind the scenes, look at how they all work in my business, Q&As, and a ritual. And it will be like just a beautiful experience. Energetically, making this investment in yourself calibrates you to attract individuals who also invest in themselves. So it's a powerful thing. If you're feeling drawn to me magnetically, or you're feeling triggered by me, both good signs. They're both good signs. If I trigger you, but you can't stop listening to me, that's good. It's compelling you into your creative course. So keep on listening. Keep being in my space. Please do not invest or purchase Mentor Alchemy when you're in a red light. That's not going to work for anybody. Do not invest if this is like a matter of feeding your children or life and death. That's not going to work. You're going to get into too much red light over that. But if this is a stretch, if this is like, ooh, shit, that's good. That's good. That's what we want, because that is setting that energetic calibration. So message Brooke, message myself. I will send you the link. Don't expect a fancy sales page. You can ask questions, however. I will happily answer them, as will Brooke. And we kick off next week. There are replays available for each one of those calls. So, and you can also, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions in the group. I'll start a thread. So if you cannot make the call live, I will try to address those calls on the, those questions on the call as well. So you'll be able to do that. It will be just as much of an activation, even if you cannot be live with me on those calls. Just being in the group, being in that energy, being in the vibration, being in these discussions, being in that space, making that investment in yourself in such a way is going to create the same impact. Okay, so I don't want you to think, I can't make one of these calls live, it's not worth it. It's totally fine. It's totally fine if you're just listening on replay. You'll still be in the space, in the sphere of it. And as I said, the price increases in 48 hours. It goes up to $12.97, and that gives you time to transmute any reds that you're facing right now over. I don't want you to invest in that space, okay? So shift that, and then you have some time. So, Gnosis, yes. How do you spell Gnosis? Yeah, Gnosis. Yeah, so Brooke is right there. And with that, an hour and a half, not too bad. Thank you so much, everybody, for sticking through. I hope you felt this. Who on here was like, yeah, I kind of know now why it's not working. Who felt it? Or who has more clarity now? So one of the codes that the first code we will be going into is divine creation. So if you were like, yes, unconditional creation, but then you're like, but what do I create? What? That's the next code. So I'll be showing you how to receive that. It's going to be very, very powerful. Thank you so much, everybody. I love you all so much. Thank you, thank you. I will be announcing the winners. If you manage to grab a snippet, a screenshot, post it on your socials, tag me in. I have a Money Dragon Grimoire and 3 signed copies of magic source codes that I'm giving away. 4 people will win, and I will announce those in the group tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll tag you in if you're one of the winners as well. So grateful for your time today. So grateful that I'm able to share this information and that I have felt that it was received. Yes. And that was my intention. That was my intention. And I hope that I compelled you a little bit more into your cores of like, oof, yeah, this is it. This is it. I get to go. I get to go. I get to fucking go. Yes, you do. Yes, you fucking do. Go, and reality will respond to you. It's not the other way around. Yeah, you lead the way always, 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 always. Always, always, always. I love you all so much. Have an incredible rest of your day, and we will talk soon.